everyone, welcome to the 15th part of the tutorial series. In the previous video, we looked at SQL wildcards. In this tutorial, we're going to look at the introduction to SQL joins. First of all, let's connect to our database. Open new query editor. As per tradition, we change our working database. We are looking at SQL joins. This is an introduction. So, what is a join? A join clause is used to combine rows from two or more tables based on a related column between them. If you want to join two or more tables, you need to have a relationship between or among these tables. What I mean by relationship is they are supposed to be a column that is present in both tables. A column from one table has to reference a column in another table. For example, you have orders table and you have a customers table. There's supposed to be a column that links these two tables. Let's say customers make orders. There are certain customers, if not all customers, who make orders. So there's supposed to be a column in an orders table that represents customers who made those orders. If it's there, the relationship now is customer ID, which is a column in customers table, representing customers who made orders in an orders table. So you find that a customer's ID column in a customer's table is present in orders table as customer's ID. Sometimes people use different names, but the values are the same. Others might call customer's ID column in a customer's table. Then in an orders table, they say customer number. Let's look at SQL joins syntax. We can say select, or even though we don't say or, we specify the columns we want. But for now, I'm going to say or from table name. Then here we provide the join type we want to use. So I'm going to say join type. Then which table are we going to join this table from? Join, I'm going to say table. Here we'll just say table 1. And then table name, which is table 2. Now on the event, others say event, or on what column are we going to join these two tables? On, so I'm going to say column name. Now here we say we're going to say table name 1 dot equals table name 2 dot the column. Why we say table name 1 dot? Because we are joining two tables. We are joining these two tables based on a column. Now, based on a column, which is the relationship between these two tables, this column is this column name. So let me also include the column name 1, even here column name 2. So this column is a relationship between these two tables. It's found in both tables. So if we just say column 1 equals column 2, SQL won't understand which column we are referring to. For example, let's say the column had the same name. It was just column name, even this one column name. So SQL will be confused like this. So we need to specify to say this column is found on this table and this column is found on this table. That's how SQL is going to join these two tables based on the column relationship. We go back. If you remember, I said we don't say select all. We specify the table name, or from the table, these tables, we can use an alias. We say as, or we can say as. Let's just use A as table A, then this one as table B, just an alias, and then we say select. Now we specify the columns we want. So to specify the columns, we need to start with the table so that SQL knows to say, I'm going to get this column from this table. So A dot, for example, we say, maybe we had orders and customers table. We say order, we say order ID. But now, since we are looking for the syntax, I'm just going to say A column. I'm going to say column A, comma, maybe A dot column. Let me just say, instead of B, okay, let me just say B, comma. Then we change this one to X so that we say comma X column A, comma X dot column B. Let me use the small letter B like this. So SQL now knows that it's going to get column A from table A, which is this one, and then column B from table A, same. X, column A from table X, which is this one, and column B from table X, this one. So this is the syntax for SQL joins. Now here, join type. You can specify the join type you want. We have several join types. We are going to look at them one by one. So no wonder I've said join type. I haven't specified what type of join. So we are going to look at 4 types of joins in SQL. The first one will be inner join, left join, right join, and full outer join. Now let's look at the types of joins. The first one we are going to look at is the inner join. The inner join sometimes is just said join. When you say join, you mean inner join by default. This join returns records that have matching values in both tables This inner join or join is sometimes referred to as the intersection of the tables. So for example, we have the orders table and the customers table. The intersection of the two tables is what we call the inner join. What this simply means is that customers who made orders, this side customers didn't make any order, and this side were the orders not made, but here are the customers who made the orders, or orders made by certain customers. Something to note here is that the inner join keyword returns only records with a match in both tables. which simply means that if you have an order with no customer ID that is not present in the orders table, that record would not be returned in the result. This side, we have orders with no customer ID. So this simply means this side, these orders will not be retained when we are using the inner join because they were not ordered by these customers. The syntax for the inner join, we say select. Although we looked at the general syntax for the joins, it's not that different. It's just the join type which is different. So we select the column or columns from, we say table 1, then we say inner join table 2 on what column? On here we say table 1 dot the column name equals to table 2 dot column name. This tells SQL that I'm joining these two tables, table 1 and table 2, based on the column in table 1, which is the column name, and the table 2 dot column name number 2, meaning this column is in table number 2. So they supposed to have equal values, or they are equal columns. You might have, let's say, customer ID in table 1, then in table 2 you have customer number. If these are equal but in different tables, you can use these columns because that's the relationship which is joining these two tables. It is a good practice to include the table name when specifying columns in the SQL statement. Why? Because let's say, for example, in orders table, we had customer ID. This is orders table. And then in customers table, we have customer ID as well. If we say customer ID, inner join table 2 on customer ID, just customer ID equals customer ID, SQL will be confused. It wouldn't know which customer ID to pick and from which table. To differentiate them, we use the table name first and then the dot property to say table 1 dot customer ID, table 2 dot customer ID, so that SQL knows to say I'm getting this customer ID from table 1, I'm getting this customer ID from table 2. This is how simple I can explain. Let's move on to the second join, which is left out join or left join. This join returns all records from the table, which is the left table, from the left table, and matched records from the right table. We use the same tables. For example, we have orders table. We also have the customers table. So you might ask which one is the left table and which one is the right table. In the query, the table that is mentioned first is the left table. So we are saying all records from the left table. So this is the left table, the orders. If it's mentioned first, so the left table, this is the left table. So these are all records. And matched records. Matched records, these are records, or these are customers who made the orders. In short, this is an intersection of the two tables. So this part, in fact, let me shade in different direction this part. So the left outer join is going to return the union of its set and the intersection. Even those customers or even those orders that were not made by customers or by other customers apart from the customers we have in these tables. The syntax for the left outer join: select, just say columns from the left table. In this case, if we say orders, this is the left table. Orders. Then we say left join customers. This is the right table, this one. On the event, on what column? On, if we use alias, we say as. For orders, we say O. And then for customers, we say C. So on O representing orders, orders dot customer ID, which is equal to C for customers dot customer ID, because we are telling SQL that we have these columns which are equal, but they are coming from different tables. One is coming from the orders table represented by O, and the other one from customers table represented by C as alias. This is the syntax. So this is the left table. The orders table is the left table because it's mentioned first. Then the customers table is the right one. So we are going to return all records from the left table, which is this part, and matched record, which is the intersection of the two tables. Those orders made by customers from the right table. This is the right table. These are customers on the right table. Something to note here is that the left join keyword returns all records from the left table, which is the orders table, even if there are no matches in the right table. Those orders that were not made by these customers. If we had another customer table, maybe if this was customer number 1, customers table number 1, then we had also customer number 2. Maybe these orders were made by different customers apart from the customers we have here. These are the results. So even if they were not made by the customers we have currently, left outer join is going to return them. We move on to the right outer join. Right outer join returns all records from the right table and the matched records from the left table. We have orders. We also have customers. We said all records from the right table. These are the records from the right table, this side, and all that matched records. The matched record, this is the inner join, which is this part. It's the opposite of the left outer join. The right outer join will return all records from the right table, even those. The right outer join keyword will return all records from the right table, even if there are no matches in the left table. It's just the opposite of the left outer join. Select, this time I'll just say or, but you have to specify the columns from which table they are and the table they are coming from. Select or from orders right join customers on what? Obviously it's a customer ID as or as C on C dot customer ID equals O dot customer ID equals C dot customer ID. This is the right outer join. Let's also look at the full outer join. The fourth one, full outer join, returns all records when there is a match in either left or right table. This is like the union. We have orders, we have customers. This is like the union when there is a match. This join can potentially return very large result set. So the full outer join returns all matching records from both tables, whether the other table matches or not. So if there are rows in the customers table that do not have matches in orders table, or if there are rows in orders that do not have matches in customers table, those rows will be listed as well. Those orders made by the customers we have, and those that were not made, or those orders made by these customers we have, and those customers who didn't make any order, it's going to return. No wonder we say it can potentially return a very large data set. So we have looked at the types of joins. The first one being the inner join, which returns records that have matching values in both tables. In simple terms, just the intersection of the two tables, two or more tables. Then we also have the second type of join we looked at is the left outer join, which returns all records from the left table and matched records from the right table, as shown on the diagram. Then we also looked at the right outer join, the opposite of the left outer join, which returns records from the right table and the matched record from the left table, as shown on the diagram here. We also looked at the full outer join, which returns all records when there is a match in either left or right table. And we also said it can potentially return very large result set because it returns even those now values. Those customers who made orders and those who didn't make orders, it will return them. Okay, so for today, we end here. In the next tutorial, we are going to look at the inner join and the left join in SQL. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. If you have any question, remember to put them in the comment section below and I'll make sure I respond to them. Thank you once again, and let's meet in the next video.